Hey there, I'm Shelby Cornett, head coach at Amplify Academy, founded by Holly Essington. And welcome to the Stories of the Amplified Life. This is a series where we highlight the real women inside of our community who, decided that they wanted something different. So they learned high ticket sales skills, and now they are creating lives with more freedom, flexibility, and opportunity. And today, you'll get to hear one of their stories. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Well, at least beginning of kind of Amplify, right? So tell us a little bit about who you are and what life kind of looked like before joining Amplify.
Yeah, so my name is Heather. I am 32 years old. I have four kids that are five and under. So
Wow.
life before Amplified and after is still crazy and fun. My husband is a youth pastor, and so we have been in ministry our whole lives, and I've kind of been following him around the country, supporting him in his journey. And along the way, I've had like a bunch of tiny little part-time jobs on the side.
Mm.
And so, whenever anyone asks me what I do, I've always been like, well, I do this and I do that and I do that, this many hours a week, this many hours a week. And so, honestly, like before I found Amplified, I really was just trying to do anything I could to support our family, being in ministry. And so, yeah, when I found Amplified, it just kind of gave me some hope that like I could have purpose in a job and I could actually
Hmm.
like support the family financially as well. And that was honestly my biggest goal. I went to college, I got a degree, like I know that I can do things, but after you
Hmm.
become a mom, you kind of step out of sometimes you step out of the working world and
Yeah.
into like mom mode and you're not sure like if you're ever going to be back in the workforce. And I personally love working, but I love my kids as well. And so,
Hmm.
really, when I found Amplified, it just gave me that hope that I could do both and find value and worth in both.
Yeah. Yeah, that very much sounds like Holly's story too.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm curious. We don't need to run through like all the side things that you did, but what was kind of the shift, I guess, of like, was there something about those that wasn't working, or you were like, I just know that there could be more or a better fit? Like, what kind of prompted you to look for and then end up finding Amplify?
Yeah, I think I just wasn't feeling, I don't want to say like not feeling valued, but like my work was like I was doing 5 hours a week here for one place, 10 hours a week for another place. And honestly, I just felt like I had my hand in so many different things. And I really just wanted to have one solid thing. And so
Got it.
I don't even know how I found Holly. I think she really just, most like everyone else, came up in my Instagram feed
Yeah.
because I had been trying to do some things on the side on my own. Like, if I, in my position right now, can't find something like decently part time or full time, I'm just going to try to go do it myself. And so then I
Hmm.
started researching, like, how can I come up with something on my own? And I think at that time, like the algorithm hit me. And what's funny is I actually found Holly a few months before I actually ended up diving in and
Okay.
like
Okay.
jumping in because then when I went in her DMs, I saw the conversation before that was like, hey, like welcome to Amplified, and I just never did anything about it. And I was like, dang
Hmm.
it! Like now that I know, if I would have done something about it, I could have been so much further along in my journey. But I'm happy with where I'm at now. So I just thought that was
Good.
funny.
Yeah, no, it is. And I think like truly what's meant for us finds us, right? And at that
Yeah,
time you just weren't ready for it. And then you were. So
yeah,
it's great.
yeah.
So how long had you been looking about too? Like when you decided, there's got to be something I can
Yeah.
do that's different.
I would probably say like a solid 5 months of
Okay.
like searching and trying different things. We moved, so we're in South Carolina right now. We moved across the country from Minnesota to South Carolina.
Wow,
And
big
that was
move.
like yeah, I know, that was like a job transition out of something part time for me out there. And so I felt like this was an opportunity for me to
Mm-hmm.
really try to find something and make something my own. And especially with the move across the country, like just finding something that I can, one, again, like I said, find purpose in outside of just being a mom.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I think it was probably about 5 months, and I'm just happy that I took the dive. Happy that the algorithm hit me.
Good, good. So the draw to remote work too, I'm assuming like with kind of like your husband kind of being the main
Hmm.
person, I guess, as far as like career wise, and then you having kids, what you said 4 under 5, which so
Yeah.
my brother also has that combo. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So was that like your draw to remote then of like I can still this can be mobile and I can also still be mom and like be in the day to day.
Yeah, exactly. Like for me, we live a block away from school, and so my
Okay,
kids walk to school, and like it
cool.
just gives me the flexibility to be able to like walk my kids to school and 5 hours later walk again to pick them up and like be able to just be around them. Like a lot of times they're on the trampoline in the backyard or playing in the pool, and I'm sitting, at a chair
Mm-hmm.
just typing on my phone, talking to people in the DMs. And
Love it.
so just to be able to like still be present, but then also to understand that like mom is doing something and like mom
Mm-hmm.
loves that too, like is really cool. Like as an example for them, like that, like you
Yeah.
can do things too, even when you're a mom. And so, like the remote work really is great because one, I'm not worrying about daycare for the little babies, and
Mm-hmm.
like they get to be around me playing outside, exploring their own little world while I'm working and making money. And I think I've said it in the Wins channel before, like rocking a baby to sleep. Like the other day, I was in Epcot in line, like waiting for Ratatouille, and I was answering some DMs and brainstorming with my husband, like, what can I say? Like it was just really fun. And
I love
so,
that.
like, yeah, I think just the flexibility working from your phone and the car line versus, on your computer if you want at home, like to set up a desk. So, I really, really enjoy that. And I think a lot of times people are fearful of like, I think a lot of people love the remote work setting and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people want that.
Yep.
But there's so many things out there where you're like, is this legit? Like, is this actually working? Is it going to work out for me?
Right.
And so, yeah, I mean, just the fact that that has worked out because of the training that I had is just amazing.
Awesome. Well, I love it. And yeah, I think just with what you shared too with remote work, it's kind of like two camps I think that people fall in. Like, one, is this remote work just going to be kind of like cubicle, but just at home? Or is it
Yeah.
like, one, is this even legit? Like, am I legit as in like, is this like career level kind of work we're doing
Yes.
here? Yeah.
Hmm.
So I guess like when you found Amplify, it sounds like you found it initially, maybe wasn't it at the time and then came back around to it. Like, what about Amplify specifically were you like, yep, this is the opportunity for me based off of other things that you'd been seeing?
Well, I mean, much like what I'm doing right now, I like dove into the testimonials and just tried to like listen to them over and over again to like really understand that like these are real people on the other side and like they've been through this and it's worked for them. But just the genuineness of like Holly and you,
Mm-hmm.
Shelby, and just from the outside looking in, Holly shares a lot of real stories on her Instagram, and I think that's great because she's not some like young 20 something year old going like, look at my Prada purse, what I got with my online
Yeah.
sales, like she's just
Yeah.
very genuine, and she hit my like mom heart of like
Mm-hmm.
that desire of like wanting to be with your kids, but also like you guys do a great job at like putting purpose back into us and being like, don't forget, like you are worth, you
Yeah.
have value, you are worth it, that kind of thing. And so I think it was just a very warm environment and made it feel very realistic and really possible.
Awesome. So I guess thank you for sharing all of that. And I think what I remember about you also going through here, you are someone who does your research. Like you're like, I ask good
Yeah.
questions, I do my research. So was there like any hesitation when you were joining, or was it okay, from everything, the conversations I've had, what I've dove into, I just
Mhm.
and like what you said, just kind of speaking to you of like this is my community, this is my next step.
Yeah, I talked in the DMs for like probably 5 days with Holly.
Okay.
And I wrote out so many questions and she answered all of them. I remember like going to the gym and like walking in and voice texting her like, "Hey, I just want to know like has there been anyone who's not seen success with this, and like what have you done? And she just gave me honest answers, and honestly, like everyone's been placed, you know, in
Mm-hmm.
a position if they put that work in. And so it's just like
Yep.
she answered all of my hesitations. You know, it's always like when you want to do something, like you want the support of your family, and I really wanted like my husband to be on board. And when I presented it to him, he was just like, yeah, like if she thinks like if you think this is legit, and if like she can answer all of your own questions and your hesitations that you have, then go for it. Like, and I think at that point it was like the risk outweighs like not going, like it,
Yeah.
what am I trying to say, the
Like
risk
staying put
outweighs.
was riskier than
Yes.
taking the risk of going all in.
And yeah, and I looked back at that conversation that I had before and going like, why didn't I pull the trigger then? And like I just was in a completely different position back then where I was too afraid. And
Mm-hmm.
I think I just hit a
Mm-hmm.
point where I was like, I want to do something for my family, and I'm just going to ask every single question. And if Holly can't give me like legit answers to this, then I'm out of here. But literally, she, you know, sent back the most genuine, real, honest answers. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to pull the trigger and hope everything goes well. Like, I'm a determined person. And so I just said, I'm going to put my whole effort into it and put the most in so I can get the most out of it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I
yeah.
know that can be so tricky. And it's interesting too, like for some reason in the remote world, the online world, it seems riskier, even though, like, if you think, you know, you said you got a degree, I went to college, got a degree, like it's still kind of the same concept, right? Of like, I'm
Right.
investing a lot of money in myself, and there's not
Yep.
necessarily like a guarantee at the end of this, right?
Right.
But I think just kind of coming back to your own identity of like, who do I know myself to be, right? Like what kind of
Mm-hmm.
woman am I, looking back on what I've already accomplished, being a mom of 4 kids, like if I believe in myself enough, you know, like that's really all it takes is just like, who am I and
Mm-hmm.
how am I going to show up for this? And then being willing to like do that with fear right next to you, right? In the passenger seat
Yeah.
with you. Yeah. Okay. So jumping into Amplify then, when you were inside the program, was there anything that like surprised you when you came in of like, wow, I wasn't expecting this to be a part of my experience?
Um, Truthfully, like I didn't know I was going to connect with so many different girls.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was like one of the more surprising and enjoyable things because I didn't like know too much about what was inside of Amplified. I just knew that what I could get out of it. And
Right.
like, you know, hopefully, you know, learning the skill to be able to be trained and be placed. But I didn't expect to meet a bunch of other ladies in like very similar seasons of life
Mm-hmm.
who are looking for the same thing. So I think that was like the biggest surprise. And just you're right, it is like going back to school because you're investing money and you're getting a certification. And so it's almost like they're classmates and they become friends because you're working on
Mm-hmm.
something together and you're learning a skill together. And so like we were, you know, everyone inside of it is met with grace and friendship and just
Mm-hmm.
encouragement. And I think that was cool because like now I'm friends on Instagram with some of them, and you know, I'm texting a few of them. One of them lives like 20 minutes down the road from me, and hopefully we'll be able to meet sooner or later. We talked about like working together like at a coffee shop one
Oh, I
day.
love that. Yeah.
And so yeah, I just think like that was the biggest surprise. I literally, again, like I said, I didn't know what was necessarily inside. I think
Mm-hmm.
I mindset was just like this is gonna get me like further along where I would like to be. But then when I got in, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm getting so much more out of it than just a certification.
Yep.
So the friendships have been really enjoyable. And then also, I would say just the feedback. Like, I don't think I would have learned to think that critically, like in a good way. Like, you have really shaped the way that I think about things when I'm in conversations. What would Shelby say? Um,
Oh, thank you.
True, because I like the feedback that you gave me, like really helped. And it was very thoughtful too. Like it wasn't just like good job, you know, it was like I
Hmm.
like the way that you said this, like maybe try saying this better. And so yeah, just say like the relationships and the actual training piece of it. You're not just trying to get us through a program, you're trying to actually like teach us.
Change
So
lives. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Well, well, thank you for sharing that. That was
Yeah.
really kind.
Oh yeah, of
So
course.
I mean, like truly, I think that like as the coach watching people go through here, with it being remote too and someone who has invested in other programs, it can be kind of tricky to stay on track unless you're someone who's like
Mhm.
really disciplined because it does feel kind of isolating. But I think that's what's so cool about in this space. Like you said, just seeing you all like link up with each other, I think that's almost like the piece that means the success too, because
Mhm.
you realize like I'm not in this alone. There are so many people like me, so many other women, and you kind of help each other also keep that
Yeah.
momentum to get through, which is really cool to witness as a
Yeah.
coach. Cool. Okay, so let's talk about too with having so many littles at home. How was that like? I mean, inside Amplify, but even now in your placement, if you want to touch on that a little bit too, how did you juggle all of that? Like for people who are also moms with littles, like who might be a little
Yeah.
nervous about being able to handle that. Like what did that look like for you?
Mhm. Yeah, I would say during like Amplified during like the training and the process of just being inside Amplified, I did a lot of like I sacrificed a lot of nighttime like time to myself. And so
Mm,
instead of watching Survivor on a Wednesday night, like I decided to have DM mock conversations with people and like a lot of times sometimes I would wake up early to have a conversation with someone who was able to have a conversation early. I did a lot of the modules during nap time. So a lot of it was just like a upfront sacrifice to be
mm-hmm.
able to get through the curriculum at a decent pace and also be able to soak it in too. Like I knew it. I had kind of I chose to do it when they were sleeping. But then I also, when I did have my husband around, like on the weekends, he would allow me time to go off and have a conversation with someone. I think probably the hardest time to find conversations or to the hardest time to find time alone and have conversations, like a lot of people are moms. And so
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them are in the same situation and they'll be like, yeah, 9 p.m. Sure. Like my kids are asleep, you know, and they're dedicated on the other side too. Um, so I definitely feel like that was the route that I went. I know some other ladies liked to do nap time calls as well. But yeah, that's what I did when I was in the training. Right now, um, it's an interesting schedule. Like you kind of get to, but in the placement I'm in, like you kind of get to pick your own schedule. Like as long as you can get your hours in and get your numbers hit, like they don't necessarily care what hours I'm working. And I feel like every placement is maybe a little bit different. Some
Mm-hmm.
placements have like set hours. And so for me, what it looks like is I will get up in the morning around like 6, like before my kids get up. And I'll spend about an hour and a half just getting the like beginning of the day messages out. And then I'll get them ready for school. I'll send them off to school. And then I'll have like my 1 year old around. And I basically just like will do blocks. So I have like a morning block, an afternoon block, and then if I need to, I'll do a nighttime block after the kids go to bed. But I try my best to have it where when the kids are home, like all of the kids, my job is to be their mom and be present.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously there's grace in that if there's like active conversations going on in the DMs. I'll just send them outside in the trampoline. But for the most part, I have blocks in my day where, like, yes, I'm there helping them get ready for school. When they get home from school, I take until dinner to be with the kids, and then I'll hop on after bedtime if I need to. But so definitely just like working around the kids' schedule. I'll pick my phone up during car line and I'll answer a bunch of midday messages. So there's just a lot of different ways that you could be flexible around your kids' schedules. But yeah, that's kind of how I run it. I run it in 3 blocks.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I love that. And that you were able to find a placement that really like worked with the flexibility that you were looking for
Yes.
because you're right, there's all different levels of flexibility within the space, which I think is so great too, right?
Yeah.
When we're thinking about what's possible, there's a lot of different ways to configure it.
Hmm.
Okay, I also want to do a shout out too, because as you were going through, like, here's how the sacrifice I made while in Amplify to make this happen, you still hold the record actually as someone who got certified
Woo!
in 26 days. Yeah, so typically it takes, for those
Right.
of you watching, it takes 90 days to get certified, and Heather got it done in 26. And then you got placed the
I can't
next
believe
day,
that.
I think, right?
Yeah, I did.
So it's
Yeah. Hmm.
27 total. Okay, so bring me up to speed. Is that still the placement then that you're in?
Yes, so I'm in
Okay,
two. I'm working for a nervous system coach. She's amazing. I feel like I've changed a lot of my life since working with her and meeting her.
cool.
Just like I posted in the group chat the other day that I got a laundry service
I
for
remember
all of
that.
my kids. I used my first paycheck on laundry service. But so I'm working for her, and then I'm also working with a fitness coach too. And so I have two
Okay,
placements. They're both 20 hours a week. So the beginning of my day, I'm working with the fitness coach, and then the other half of the day, I'm doing the nervous system coach. And then
okay.
I one is hands off and one is hands on, and they're both a perfectly like even balance for what I need in both of those placements because they're both two completely separate different placements. And I enjoy both of them. I just did a macros calculator the other day. Like I'm sending it out for clients and I did it on myself. I was like, okay, what should I be getting? But it's really cool because like I'm not only working for them, but I'm also learning so much
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
improving my life too. And so it's just been great. So yes, I'm enjoying both of them. I work for Amazing Woman. They both have kids, and so that's another plus. Like they understand
Yeah,
like mom life, kid life. But so yeah, it's been wonderful.
good. And okay, so how long has that been then that you've been in both of those?
Let's see. I want to
Is
say
it
I don't even
is
remember
it
when
going
the
on
big.
2 months?
I think it's been a month and a half with the nervous
Okay,
system coach, and then about a month with the fitness coach.
okay,
So
okay.
yeah.
So, what would you say, like up until this point, has been kind of like your biggest win in both or either of those roles? Maybe the laundry
Well,
service too.
yeah, the laundry service. Um, I mean, I'm surprised at myself, like the amount of people I have been able to book.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I'm in Amplified, I'm like a little bit nervous. Like, am I actually gonna be able to do this job?
Mm-hmm.
And the authority piece, I feel like you taught us the authority piece really well because when you're in someone else's DMs representing them, like you need to hold some sort of authority and also like kindness and also influence. And so there's just a lot of
Mm-hmm.
different things that you're holding, I feel like. And so I have just surprised myself at like the clients that I've been able to book and move forward to a sales call. And it's just
Heck yeah.
the most rewarding feeling when they say yes and close on the sale. And you're like,
Mm-hmm.
we did it together. Like, I've become friends with one of the closers and like, well, that's just a fun relationship too. And
Mm-hmm.
so I definitely feel like that's been a really personal win just like out of just nervousness stepping into something that you just don't know, like you dream
Yeah.
about it when you're in the program and you don't know where you're going to end up and you don't know what it's going to be like, and so that's a win. But then also yeah, like I think being in sales is so fun because it's a very driven job. Like, I'm a goal person. I was an athlete in college and so I loved meeting different goals. And so for me, just having numbers as a goal and also like client relationships and nurturing that has also been really fun for me. But I have to say, like, one of the main reasons that I joined was to have a solid paycheck. And I
Mm-hmm.
will say, like, I've gotten that in the last month and a half. And like when we're
Congratulations.
going to budget for next month, we're like, all right, I have this chunk of money that like we would have never had before with
Mm-hmm.
my 10 5-hour a week work job, like so I think that's a huge win too, is like we based off of only the last month and a half, I'm like, shoot, like I feel like it can only get better from here. Like, and I feel like I'm starting off at a pretty good pace because of the training that I've gotten. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of wins that I feel like I'll keep taking away. But yes, the laundry service, for sure, a big win.
Yeah, no, it just sounds really empowering overall, right? Like, I think just thriving in the conditions of the sales space. And then, I don't know, I just, me too being in sales, I feel like my mind's constantly working in a good way. Like I'm exercising this muscle, and you can tell when you're getting better, and just like loving the transference of energy too. I think that that's like what you feel, right? When you book someone to a call and and they close, it's like sweet. Like you said, we worked together. We like made this transformation like happen for someone, and it's just like really rewarding. So I love that you have that and your kids see you having that, and then you're also like providing for your family, in a different way than maybe you were before. I love that. Love that for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so for someone who's like you, sitting on the other side of the fence, right? Like, I want to be where you are, Heather. Like, what would you say to them as they're kind of contemplating, is this right for me or not?
I would say, I mean, besides go for it, I would say, like, you are worth investing in yourself to become the best version of yourself, honestly. You are worth it to invest in yourself to feel like you're thriving, to support your family. I'm getting chills as I'm saying this.
I am too.
It's so true. Like, I mean, I never, ever would have thought that I was going to be here. Like, and thank God for social media, right? But like, so often as moms, I feel like we don't feel like we're worth it,
Yeah.
And maybe that's just me, but I felt that for years because I'm like, my only identity right now is to be a mom and to follow my husband across the country in his job, which is totally fine. Like I was always fine with doing that. But now that I have like a job that I can do and I can add value to the family, like monetarily, like I was so nervous to pull the trigger and invest financially, and now I'm like, why wouldn't I? Like, for the value that I'm getting out of this job, it's not just a 1 month job, it's a forever job. Like, I don't ever want to leave this industry again, and I feel like I hope I'm with my placements for a really long time, but if not, like I have a skill that I can take anywhere now. And so I'm just like, why not invest in yourself? Like, you're worth it. So I would say that, especially if you're a mom of a bunch of littles, like they need to see you thriving. And sometimes when you're not thriving, like you just need something else in your life to pick you up. And sometimes it can be a job because like I'm working with women who care about me, and I'm working with a team that cares about me, and like they just want the best for you too. And so I would just say go for it.
Well, I don't need to follow that up with anything, but thank you for like sharing that message, because I am not a mom myself, but the amount of times I hear that message of, well, I'm just a mom. Well, stop the just. Like you
Right,
are a mom,
right.
which almost makes you more well equipped to do something like this. And I think that like why behind what moms do, like it's such a strong force behind you too. It's like literally I would bet on a mom over anyone any day. So yes, like you moms are so worth it. You have so much value, and you do deserve to have something that's your own, and whatever that looks like for you, whether that's a career that's fulfilling that you can provide for your family or something totally different. But at the end of the day, yeah, you have value and you deserve to have something that's for you. So thank you for sharing that message. And yeah, thank you for, being willing to be featured and share your story, and hopefully inspire other women to be where you are in the next like 90 days or 26.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll try to beat your record.
I know. Someone come out and beat my record, okay?
I love it.